Hi YouTube, welcome to the Modern Sophisticate channel. My name is Oyinka Sola and it is such a pleasure to have you back. This is going to be the second in the love series. In the first video on love, we talked about reclaiming the definition of love. We talked about defining love for ourselves because as we come into womanhood, we might find out that what we thought was love was not actually what we wanted, or how our family defined love was not how we wanted to experience love for ourselves. So that's the first part. That's the first part video. If you haven't watched that video, I will link it in this video, probably in the description box, so you can check that out. In this second video, we are going to be talking about the rules of engagement with love. Are there rules for love? And if so, what are there? All right. The reason why I wanted this video to be the second video in this series was because I heard this quote. I've always heard this quote, but for whatever reason, the last time I heard it, which was most recent, it really stuck to me. And it was a quote on how it is the ones that are closest to us that we tend to treat the worst. And when I heard that, I started ruminating over it. Like my spirit, it really did something to me because I kept thinking about why. Why is that the case? That it is the ones that are nearest and dearest to our hearts that we tend to treat in a callous and flippant manner. So strangers, we meet strangers and, we give them polite smiles and we say please and thank you and all of those other things that show our politeness and kindness. But with the people that we love the most, we get upset with them when they don't do things for us, and then we don't say thank you to them, and we expect them to do things for us or we expect them to be a certain way towards us. And I think it's because, specifically in society now, there is the understanding that when somebody loves you or when you love somebody, they should be able to fully and completely accept you at your lowest or at your rawest and at the lowest of your humanity, right? At the worst of you, they should be able to accept all of you, the totality of you. And while I think that there is a little bit of truth in that, I think it is starting to become warped, right? We live on a planet that everything has conditions. There's the law of gravity. There are laws in the states and governances and provinces that we live in. There are laws for each counties and countries and continents. There are the law of reciprocity. There's the law of karma, if you believe in that. We are governed by laws and rules. So why would we think that love is any different? Why would we believe that love is meant to be unconditional? I personally do not believe in unconditional love. I believe that everything has conditions. And in order for love to truly thrive and continue to grow, you need to have conditions to it. It is not just an emotion that kind of comes and goes wherever it's swayed. No, love is something that in order for it to be planted, it's a seed, and in order for it to grow, you need to water it, you need to take care of it, you need to manage it and maintain it, right? And so what are the rules of love? What are the conditions for love? I think that it is important that as a woman, once you have redefined or once you have defined what love looks like for you, think about what is required of you in order to love. What do you need in order to fall in love with somebody? What does somebody need to do in order for you to feel like they love you? What are some requirements for you? What are the conditions for your love to be given? I believe that once you have really sat in and thought about those few questions, you'll get a better understanding of the type of person that you are. I think a lot of us do not like to do introspection because it reveals parts of ourselves that we would like to pretend don't exist. I'll use myself for example. When I think about that question, for me, I take my health very seriously, and it's important for me to have a partner that does the same. I want a man that takes care of himself and values his body and cherishes his mobility and does what is necessary to keep going and keep doing the things that are necessary in order to keep a healthy body and mind. And so when I think about what are the conditions for my love, I need to be pleased at what I see, right? I need to be attracted to you physically, obviously, and emotionally and spiritually, but I don't see your spirituality. I see your physicality. So one condition for me is that the person prioritize their physical health. Some people don't want to look at that because then it might come across as shallow. But if that's a requirement and that's a condition for me, then that's my condition, right? And if it is something that I prioritize myself, then of course I can ask that of somebody else. So I would like for you to ask that of yourself. Like I mentioned, I don't believe in unconditional love. I think that everything comes with conditions. Even our parents do not give birth to children without condition. You being born into this world, you came with conditions. Most parents think of their children as either little opportunities for them to relive their past days or people who will care for them when they get older, all right? And that's why we as children sometimes feel a sense of disappointment when we don't do something that we know our parents deeply want. It's because that's their condition. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but that's just an example to show that everything comes with conditions. And so your love should also come with a set of conditions. These should be things, I do want to go into the conditions. The conditions should be things that you really, truly value. So this is an exercise on what your values are at the root of it. What are things that you value? Like I said, health is something that I value. I want to show my children that, living a healthy life is very important. And so having a man who also prioritizes that just makes it so much easier. These conditions should always be related to your value. They should be things that you value and inherently cherish. I'm super excited to bring you guys the third and final video in this series. So that should be coming out shortly. I hope everyone is well. Please continue to take care of yourself until I see you again. Bye.